Hello, my vital tribe. It's Angela. I'm coming to you a little bit early today on Monday because this week is all about being flexible and nimble and being in the flow. So, if you're not catching this live, I apologize. I wish that we were here together, and hopefully, you'll see it pop on if you can. If you're watching in Facebook, please leave a comment, say hi, or give me some hearts or emojis. If you're watching a replay on any platform, please just put replay in the comments and let me know what your thoughts are, how you're feeling, what's going on for you. So, I am Angela Ward. I'm a registered nurse, transformational coach, and an integration and embodiment specialist. And I wanted to talk with you today about slowing down and moving at the pace of the body. What inspired this talk today was reading through some old notes, actually from this little journal right here. I've journaled for many, many years, and oftentimes my journals also contain notes from workshops or trainings that I've done. And in this particular journal, it was a year that I went to many conferences and trainings and classes. And interestingly, it was a blend of my psychedelic assisted therapy training, which I went to monthly for a year, and also a number of birth conferences I went to. And I was really surprised, not surprised, but it was interesting that this popped out to me that in psychedelic assisted therapy, as well as in birth and working with babies, particularly, there's a real need to slow down and bring our bodies along, to move at the pace of the body. So it really struck me as being very important. Many people I work with or talk to that are struggling with anxiety, particularly, or this sense of overwhelm or pressure, or just like there's too much happening. A lot of times, what seems to be going on is people get really spun out mentally. They get stuck in their intellect. And our intellect is a beautiful, wonderful thing, but our society tends to really engage with that part of us, our real heady way of being. And I'm going to sneeze. Oh, pardon me. Is everything clear? We're all good? Okay, good. We're all good. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, our society really encourages kind of getting out of our bodies and really engaging in this mental, intellectual, linear format rather than including what's happening in our bodies. And there's a number of reasons that we do that. There's definitely trauma responses, like many of us have learned to disassociate from our bodies and get into our heads for safety reasons because our bodies aren't necessarily trusted place to inhabit. And also, it gets to be a weird, bad habit in a way. Like we are prized for being able to think quickly and respond quickly. And yet, I think that process contributes to anxiety, overwhelm, stress, depression. One of the things that I was reading in my journal and recall from working at the bedside with newborns for quite a while, I've always been very interested in fetal consciousness and what their little ones' perceptions are uh, before birth and after. And one of the wonderful trainings, oh gosh, a couple trainings that I attended at one was a midwife named Karen Strange. What a great name. Karen Strange's model for neonatal resuscitation. And part of that included letting the baby know what you're doing and what you're asking it to do, like even energetically. Another interesting training I did was something called perinatal heart nesting, where we worked at moving very slowly with mom and baby and really giving baby time to respond. And then, of course, being a part of the Association for Prenatal and Perinatal Psychology and Health, APA, which does a lot of work with fetal consciousness and how to engage with babies. So, what I noticed from that training and then working at the bedside with newborns is if I had a very clear and grounded intention about what I was doing with them and kind of let them know what I was doing with them, you know, letting them know that I was going to help them attach to mother's breast better, or I was going to help them get in a more comfortable position, either verbally talking about it or even like thinking it. Just something about me thinking through my intention was of what I was doing would engage with these little ones that helped seem to calm them. Now, I don't know if anyone's worked with a newborn, but they do have a really powerful startle reflex. If you move them in an awkward way or they don't feel particularly safe, they kind of go into this like, whoa, response. And my desire had always been to kind of move them in ways that we avoided that. It's normal, it's a sign of a healthy physiologic response. But when I would engage and drop in and make eye contact with these babies, and of course, I'm looking right here because I'm imagining how much I used to hold these little babies, are so cute, and just engage with their eyes, do some eye gazing with them. Uh, it just seemed really powerful and seems like it's helping to wire some really healthy pathways within the brain, within their brains and my brain. But then when I looked through the lens of working in psychedelic assisted therapy, um, one of the hallmarks of that type of work is how the body can come online in those sessions with people, even if they are working with ketamine, let's say, which is a real disassociative psychedelic, which means that the person is not as present in this moment. I mean, like the here and now, in the way that they might be with, say, another psychedelic or with MDMA. But still, when the body comes on, it has a lot to say, oftentimes. And if we move into that intellectual place of meaning making or even really conversation, we miss some of the wisdom and the information that needs to come through here. So, why am I talking about this week? Well, I recognize the root of this anxiety that comes up for people oftentimes is because we get mentally spun out or our bodies are not agreeing to what is happening right now. Our bodies might not be consenting to the theme of a conversation or the actions that we are involved in right now. So I'm really interested in encouraging all of us to move at the pace of our bodies this week, or to say it another way, to move at the speed of our slowest parts. So if we don't have a really healthy, engaged relationship with what's going on in our bodies, we can like blast past that information really quickly and suddenly find ourselves in a place where we're like, whoa, what's happening? So I think slowing down and kind of checking in physically is really, really important. So if you're watching, I'd love to see that you're here. Um, I do see a few folks online, but I'd love to say, give a little hello if you're around. Um, have you, for example, ever been watching news, let's say, and suddenly there's this like, oh crap, like panic sort of. And it's almost because we've moved into flooded information that's really triggering really fast, or our mind gets away from what's happening. Like perhaps you start holding your breath, which I think is a huge clue that when we're moving too fast for the body, my body particularly gets this kind of poised hesitation. And hello, Clemence. Thank you for your little comment. So, paying attention to breath is crucial. And Clemence, for you, for sure, if you're working with moms and babies, slowing down to the pace of breath in a really grounded and open way can really help create connection and create connection with one another when we're working together. So, my challenge for you this week is to find the ways in which you can slow yourself down, even momentarily. Because what happens when we can slow down is we can find that infinite time. Someone once told me that eternity does not exist in time, but eternity exists in the now, in this present moment. So if you find yourself feeling overwhelmed and rushed and there's too much happening and you can't get it all done, if we can bring that sacred pause with breath and presence and making sure that our bodies are engaged here, the time dilates. It's such a wild thing. Time opens up. There's just more ease and flow and grace that can occur when we move at the pace of our whole selves. So that's kind of the wrap I wanted to give this week. In the group this week, the Unveiled Vitality group, we're going to be sharing maybe some exercises or ideas to try for you to see what happens if you can slow yourself down just a little bit and moving at the pace of what your body is bringing on board. I'm always looking for ways that your body says fuck yes to something instead of like maybe or I don't know. Like, how can we slow down that your body is like, yes, I want to do this or I'm engaged in this. So please participate and answer questions if you can and just join us on this experiment. So that's that. Now, since it's becoming tradition, I'm going to draw another spirit animal oracle card for the week because they're so pretty and somehow they're so fun. So I like to use these in order to just offer a lens to look through for the week. Uh, it's not, it can have as much deep meaning as you'd like, or it can just be a fun thing. But how I like to imagine what spirit animal would like to inform us as we talk about moving at the pace of the body. So I am going to continue shuffling until someone tells me to stop. So you have to say it in the chat. I'll look for someone stopping. And you just tell me when to draw a card or how to draw the card. What spirit animal would like to inform us this week? All right. Someone says stop. Okay. And I'm going to draw off the top of the, let me pile them again. Pile, and then maybe another cut, and another cut, and one more cut, and it's going to be this card. Who is this? Who wants to inform us today? Ooh, this is fun. Thank you, Clemence, for that. Here's our fun card this week. Can you see the beautiful Coyote spirit, which says, trust in divine detours? Ooh, I love this. I wish I could put it somewhere so you could still see it. Oh well. Let me read what it says. So this tells me beautiful things about slowing down. Coyote spirit says, Do you find that you are being led on a strange detour in your life right now? I kind of am. Does it seem that what appears to be the next right action and the right choice, best situation, or fabulous relationship unexpectedly turns into the opposite or just disappears into thin air as if you've been tricked? Coyote Spirit's trickster energy is designed to bring you into situations to teach you lessons you have forgotten to learn. Perhaps you need a taste of failure before you experience success, a need to feel disappointment before you can truly appreciate joy, love, and prosperity that is coming for you. Perhaps you are revisiting a pattern you forgot wasn't in alignment with the life you are intending to co-create. Being reminded that gratitude, not complacency, will keep you awake and aware of all that is available to you in this moment. Coyote Spirit reminds you to laugh about the unexpected twists, to develop humility and gratitude while releasing your attachments to the form of your desires. Even when you suddenly find yourself on a detour, wondering when you will get back on track to manifesting what you desire, remember that spirit has a plan and wants the best for you. Trust in divine order now. Coyote Spirit is a divine helper. No matter what seems to go astray, all things are exactly as they are supposed to be. Wow, I like that one a lot. I like that one a lot. I've been doing a gratitude practice I'm on day 4 every morning when I get up. Right now, what I'm doing is writing not only 10 things that I'm grateful for, but why. So I'm taking a little time doing that. And I do think that gratitude piece helps. And I am also on a detour right now. I don't know if any of you are, but there's some things happening in my life that are kind of shifting the path I was intending. So I'm really trusting there's some important things there to really allow myself to come along for the journey and be present. So I hope that's helpful. I'd love to hear how it's landing for you. And finally, just a little bit of business for those of you that are listening or watch the replay. Tomorrow night, December 8th, I am going to be hosting a conversation with a really awesome person who I've had the privilege of being part of his support team on his healing journey for the last couple of years. And he's a survivor of childhood trauma. He wanted to share some information with people that either have experienced that, are loving someone who has experienced childhood trauma, or who provides care and help for people that have experienced it. So it's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific on just my regular Facebook page, also streaming live on YouTube and on my Guardian at the Gateway page. So if you watch live, you can ask questions and kind of see where he's coming from. And um, what else? Yeah, I'd love to have you join us if you'd like. You can message me if you have more questions about it, but hopefully it'll be easy to find. And then next week on Wednesday, I'll be offering another little free webinar. It's just going to be a short teaching on getting rid of that sabotage language that's going on in our heads, especially when we come into the holidays. Hopefully, in order to kind of aim the arrow and prep us for launching into 2021. Yeah. So I'll tell you more about that next week. And I hope to see you tomorrow night. I'd love to hear how slowing down is working for you this week. All right. Much love, everybody. Have a beautiful week. Bye.